There are skeptics out there over this $1 trillion plan. Our previous guest, Adam Posen from the Peterson Institute in Washington, D.C., was a little more sanguine about what's going on. Let's find out from Ismail Erturk, visiting fellow from the Manchester Business School, joining us from Singapore today. Professor, good morning to you. Did you like what you saw from the Treasury Department?
Well, I'm not convinced, really, because the major problem with banks is their business models. When they're buying assets from banks, the plan is not properly sort of explained and detailed. So this is yet another big initiative, but a leap in the dark.
Why is it a leap in the dark? They've had months and many iterations to get it right. Let's take the positive for a second. What could see this plan through?
We don't know what kind of assets will be bought and which banks will be included and then what their values are going to be and what kind of governance scheme will be put in place. We've been hearing problems with AIG and the other bailout plans in the UK, US, and in Europe. But when government intervenes and then bails out banks, they need to bring a governance scheme as well. Who's going to manage these things? Who's going to be accountable? Where is the transparency? So this is one issue. The governance issue is not being properly thought out, and then the politicians got into the equation, and like in the US, the Congress passes a law trying to tax the earnings of bankers. So I think we need to have a proper governance scheme and also a well-explained plan. But for me, the fundamental issue is the business models of those banks who are in trouble, and those business models need to be sorted out. We need to separate problematic investment banking from commercial banking, because ultimately the US government and the UK as well, they want banks to go back to lending to the creditworthy individuals and companies. And I'm not sure if this plan is going to bring back that.
But that's the crux of it, isn't it? I mean, you can throw all the money you want to fix the banks, but if people are not lending, I mean, unemployment is 8.1% in America and rising. It doesn't matter how clean the balance sheets are looking. The man, the woman, the child on the street, their willingness to actually spend, to take on outstanding obligations is completely obliterated right now.
Yeah. I mean, again, we need to hear from bankers what their views are on this plan too. We only hear from the government what they intend to do. Take the example of AIG. When AIG was bailed out, it was because AIG, a big insurance company, went into derivatives business, the financial products business, and that was bailed out. But they should be really separate from the rest of AIG. We need to see transparency in banks' business models, and most of the problems, those toxic assets, they are on the trading assets book of many banks. So really, we need to look at what kind of banking we want in the future. I think this is a structural problem, not a problem of asset management or separating toxic assets from the rest of the banking assets.
What's your opinion about what happened, what has transpired at AIG? Apparently, those bonuses are so red hot right now. Nobody wants to be seen as taking bailout funded bonuses. The Attorney General from New York says that 9 of the top bonus packages have been returned now, and that seems to be the momentum seems to be in that direction. Is this going to take the profit motive? Is this going to remove the greed equation out of the whole banking industry? And is that necessarily a bad thing?
Well, we need to look at the remuneration in banking very carefully because clearly there is a relationship between how bankers are remunerated and what kind of risk that they're taking. In the case of AIG, I'm really surprised that when AIG was clearly bailed out by the US government last year, I don't think they knew what they were doing, because as we learn more, the money injected to AIG goes to other banks, which insured the collateralized debt obligations with AIG. So government is putting money into AIG, which goes to other banks who are being bailed out, and then people making bonuses out of it. So I think I can understand why government directly intervenes and then take on the responsibilities of AIG's problematic division, the financial products division.
Okay. Professor, great talking to you as always. Thanks for joining us again. We'll talk to you soon.